We're here at Damnation Festival and we're interviewing Napalm Death. I'm here with Shane from Napalm Death. How are you today?
Okay. Pretty cold outside, but it's warm in here. Yeah.
So if you were one of the 7 dwarves, which one would you be?
Grumpy.
Why?
Because I am grumpy a lot of the time. Not all the time, but some of the time.
Really? Like, when is your most grumpiest moment?
If I've been drinking a few beers and wake up in the morning and I've got lots of stuff to do, and you don't feel like doing it, feel a bit grumpy. Mm-hmm.
I know what you mean, hungover.
A little bit, yeah.
You've been working on your latest album. Tell us about that and tell us what it's called.
The album's called Time Waits for No Slave. We recorded it in late July, August in a studio in Wales. Same studio we used for the last 2 albums. Recorded 17 songs. The main release has 14 songs, Digipack has 16 songs. Recorded with Russ Russell, same producer that we used last time. Musically, it's a continuation of the last album, really. There's lots of fast stuff, but there's also lots of mid-pace, heavy, slow. It's a big. If you like Napalm Death, you know, it's a good continuation. Production, I think's a lot better again this time. Still better than before. Yeah, the album's called Time Waits for No Slave. Lyrically deals with the concept that we don't take time out to enjoy our own lives and take life as a special thing. That we just, 9 to 5 all the time, and never take a step back and look at our lives and where we are as people. You know.
And how does Napalm Death like to record? Do you use like new technology? Do you like to do it the old school way?
We do a combination. We write a lot of our songs back at home, so when we rehearse, we don't rehearse for great periods of time. We only rehearse for like 6-7 weeks for this album, as the songs are written at home, put together at home. And we try to get doing one take if we possibly can. And we use technology to speed up the process of like recording and overdubbing guitars and stuff like that. But we still want it to sound very raw and very aggressive. It's a combination.
How many days did you spend laying the tracks down?
I'm trying to remember. We did the drums. Took about 3 days. Guitars, bass, and vocals probably like 10 or 12. Mixed it in, I don't know, 10 days. So about a month altogether. There was time off in between, but altogether about a month.
And did you have everything sorted before you went into the studio, or did you kind of figure out some stuff while you were there?
I mean, the majority of it's pretty much worked out, but then at times, usually when you've got a really good guitar sound, you think of ideas, and we try some extra different guitar lines. And when we did the vocals, me and Mitch did backing vocals, and we try different backing vocals here and there. There's some ideas that came spontaneously, but a lot of it was kind of worked out before.
You have a label called Feto Records, is that right? Feto Records, with Mick Kenny from Anal Natharak. How did you get involved with them, and also tell us about the label?
Well, the place we practice at, I met Mick there probably like 10 years ago, and when Anal Natharak started to become really popular, I really liked Anal Natharak, and didn't realise the guy was from Birmingham. I met him at the local place I go drinking, and he's an old Napalm fan, grew up listening to Napalm, and we just became really good friends, very similar into what we're into. There's days when you feel really, really low on enthusiasm, and Mick would always make me really feel enthusiastic because his energy's really good. So as the years go by, we worked together and stuff, and we just said, well, I wanted to do a label, he wanted to do a label, so we kind of just did a label, really. It's a little hard, it's not easy in today's climate, but we have some pretty good bands. I think next year we're going to have the new Ramesses album. There's a band from Kettering called Necrosis we're going to put out. And just released an album by a band called Cripple Bastards, just put that out, Italian grindcore band. So it's going pretty good, you know. It's a lot of hard work, but it's fun, you know. It's good.
Tell us about some of the other bands that you have on the label. I was listening to a band called Frost. They're quite good.
Yeah, I mean, Frost is that's Mick and his brother. It's a band, you know. I mean, the whole thing with the label is not to really be sort of set in stone with the. I mean, it can be grindcore, hardcore, punk, metal. It's a whole mixture. As long as it's pretty aggressive and sounds a little different, you know. Some of the bands are not, you know, they don't sing in English. I like to push bands that don't sing in English. I kind of find it more interesting, you know, as opposed to this, you know. There's something about the different languages make the voice sound better, I think. So I try to find bands that sing in their native language and things like that, you know. So it's not as kind of, even though not as accessible in some respects, but in a different way, you know. So yeah, we've got a band from Poland called Nia that we put out, which are really good, kind of crazy grindcore sort of jazz kind of band, and some good stuff coming up.
So what do you think of the current state of the metal talent that's coming out of the UK?
I think there's bands there. There's a band that I've been keeping in touch with. They're only young right now, and they haven't even finished. They've only got like about 6 songs right now, but we're going to probably put those guys out next year. I'm not going to mention the name, but there's a few bands that are coming along. But it just depends. I mean, a lot of, as is the case with a lot of bands, they tend to sort of, they find their favourite band and they kind of like emulate them exactly, you know, as opposed to kind of try and mix it up a little bit. Like some bands like Morbid Angel, so they sound exactly like Morbid Angel. That's okay, but you really only need one Morbid Angel, you know. So, yeah, you know. So yeah, so that's good, you know. So I think if the bands can, if the new bands can take little parts of everything and mix it up, that's going to keep it original. And there are a few bands out there. You know.
Yeah, they need to find, like, kind of see the bands that they like, and then find the influences out of that and create their own thing.
Well, it's just nice to make a mixture, you know. I mean, it's inevitable, you know. But a lot of kids, you say, oh, yeah, I'm really into this band, and then it's exactly like that, you know. That's okay, but then you get 20 of those, which is, you know.
Who cares, really?
Unfortunately, it's not as interesting as if some band who could probably go from a Morbid Angel part to some sort of really mellow jazz rock parts, and that to me is more interesting. Whether it's any good, I don't know.
Thanks very much, Shane, for this interview, and I hope you have a fantastic evening. And when you're done, drink some beer, whatever you like to do.
Yeah, I will do. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much.